Today's question comes to us from Marcus, and Marcus is studying 6th grade math. Marcus's question is, what are ratios? And this is a really great question because ratios are a topic that occur over and over again in math. As you continue going through middle school math and into high school math, you will see ratios again, so it is really important to understand what they are. So, what is a ratio? Well, a ratio are two numbers. First of all, it has to be made up of two numbers or it's not a ratio. Now, your second number can be 1, and we'll get into that in just a second. But a ratio is two numbers that compare two different things. So, for example, let's say I live somewhere where I have lots of apple trees, and I have lots of cherry trees in my yard. And I have so many apple trees and cherry trees that I have 2 cherry trees for every 3 apple trees that I have. So I can express this ratio as 3 to 2. So we can write ratios 3 different ways. All of them are equally valid. Your teacher will probably expect you to know all 3 methods. So we're going to go over those right now. First, we have the word form. We have the letters T-O in between our numbers. 2, 2, 3. We can also express this as a ratio form, where we use a semicolon in between, a colon in between, and we use the numbers 2, 3, or 2 to 3. Same thing, just expressed a little differently. And finally, we have the fraction form, 2 over 3. And this is an equally valid way to express a ratio. You may see ratios already being expressed as fractions, and you may see fractions that look a little bit like a ratio, but you're not really sure if they're a ratio. They probably are. So what happens when you have 1 in your ratio? Like when we say miles per hour, we're not talking about 12 hours or 2 hours or 5 hours, we're talking about 1 hour. So we might say 25 miles per hour on a sign, on a street sign, a road sign, and that tells you you can drive no faster than 25 miles an hour unless you really, really want to get a speeding ticket. Or you're in a rush and you just don't care, but we shouldn't do that. So what this actually means, the word per, P-E-R, gives us a really big clue as to whether this is a ratio or not. Every time you see a ratio, well, not every time, but most of the time, you're going to hear the word per in there somewhere. So we have 3 apple trees per 2 cherry trees, for example. So we can express 25 miles per hour as 25 to 1, or we can express it as 25 miles per hour. And anytime you hear per, that's where your division sign or your line for your fraction is going to go. 25 miles per hour. So those are the basics about ratios. Obviously, you're going to have to do a little bit more work on your own, practicing and making sure you understand the concept more fully. That's all we have for today. Thanks for watching. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Vail Tutoring.